As the holiest month approaches, many of us are hoping that this Ramadan will be better than the last one. We were unable to go to the masjid, but we had each other at home. We weren't able to go and visit our loved ones to break our fasts, but we were still able to have healthy, home-cooked food at the time of iftar. Across Sylhet, there are families who don't just go hungry during hot days in Ramadan. They go hungry throughout the year. Their fast goes unbroken, but they do have us, alhamdulillah. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, whoever feeds a fasting person will earn the same reward as him without anything being lessened for the reward of the fasting person. 13 Rivers Trust is a passionate organization working to help communities that are being forgotten. We celebrate the contribution made by our elders and emulate their practice of helping others. Sylhet Aid is our flagship program aimed at delivering aid to the poorest families across the greater Sylhet region. Sadly, the first generation of the British Bangladeshi community are disappearing, whether due to natural causes or return migration, and with them, the help that was once so abundant for the poor in Sylhet. With your help, we can make sure their legacy lives on and no one is ever forgotten. As part of this Ramadan, we're aiming to feed the most vulnerable families struggling to provide for themselves. They depend on your kindness to get by.
ইফতারের সময় তো আপনারা কিছু আছে খাইবার, কিন্তু সকল সময় কিন্তু এটা ফাইন না। ফাইন না, সকল সময় তো ফাইন না, ফাইন না, সকল সময় আর কোনো খাইতে পারলাম না, বুঝছেন না? ভাই এলা আপনারা দ্বারা আমি বাচ্চাটা খাইলাম। কি খাইনি আপনারা যা দিছে তাও তো খাইতে পারবো ইনশাআল্লাহ। আপনারা লাগে নামাজ পড়ি দোয়া করবেন ইনশাআল্লাহ। দোয়া করব আমরা করব আল্লাহ আপনারা বেস্ট করে আয়াতি জান্নাত দিতা। These ladies are so happy. Like, to us it's just Ramadan pack. We eat we eat chicken and chips, we eat fried food, we eat like samosas every day. We look forward to iftar. They don't look forward to iftar because there's nothing to eat. This Ramadan, inshallah, through Sylhet Aid, these people are going to open the iftar with so much food. Alhamdulillah.
No one deserves to go hungry, and every fast should be broken with healthy, nutritious food. You can help make that happen. Just £25 can provide a family with essential food items that will last the entire month. Your sadaqah and zakat will help us feed the fasting during the blessed month of Ramadan. Please, donate now, and may Allah bless you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Ramadan Mubarak to everyone, and I hope you're having a fantastic Ramadan. Obviously it's our second fast, and inshallah hopefully you've had some fantastic iftaris yesterday, and you're probably looking forward to more iftaris. And I don't want to really get you hungry now. I know it is the wrong time to actually talk about food and that, but alhamdulillah, Allah's blessed us to be in this blessed month of Ramadan, and I know everyone is really, really busy. And henceforth, from 13 Rivers Trust, with our new pilot initiative, which is My Ramadan TV, we are doing our best to be with you, engage with yourself as a community out there, and also to try and share and learn and kind of like cooperate with each other in good work and share some of the good work that we're doing at 13 Rivers Trust as well. As many of you is probably aware, 13 Rivers Trust is a charitable organization. We primarily provide various different services locally and also abroad. And our key flagship projects, you're probably aware, Muslim Burial Fund and also Eden Care, End of Life Care Support. We also have a youth empowerment program that we're running and leading on. And we also have our overseas program, which is Sylhet Aid, often rescue centers, and a lot of activities that are happening in Bangladesh, where many of us are from as well. So 13 Rivers Trust has taken the initiative to actually bring a pilot program here, which is we're piloting My Ramadan TV. We're trying to bring forward our views, your views, community views, learning, knowledge, children's show, various different programs live to you on your hand device, on your smartphone, wherever you may be online. You're probably getting a message now through Facebook, prompting you that this show is now taking place. And if you've been waiting for this show, then great, fantastic. You're helping us and supporting us, and we're also going to be trying to help you and giving you information that will help you benefit in making your choices. Today, what we're going to do is I'm going to give a sincere apology. We were supposed to schedule to have the health hour. Due to certain circumstances, we're going to be postponing that show, and we're bringing in another show, which is my show, which is our 13 Rivers community show. In that show, we discuss about current affairs, current issue, local, global issues, issues that matter to you and me, as a community, how we can improve our environment, how we can improve our education system, and also inspire us with our faith as well. So we bring a lot of different topics on board. Today, I'm going to bring a topic which is very, very important for Tower Hamlet residents. Everyone is probably aware, if you're not in the borough of Tower Hamlets, London is having its elections taking place on the 6th of May, which is going to be the big day for Londoners. We're going to be deciding who our mayor is going to be for London. I know many people may be upset with the mayor, and they're looking for probably a new mayor as well, So we're not going to be talking about too much about the Greater London election, but we're going to talk a little bit more about the local referendum that's taking place, where the Tower Hamlet residents will have the choice to choose either a mayoral system, continue with the system that we already exist here in East London or Tower Hamlets, or change it to a predominant system that exists in many of the other boroughs, which is a leader-based cabinet system. And I'll get my guests to kind of explain more about how those systems work. Now, ideally, I really wanted to have a debate. I wanted to have different perspectives, different views. It's been very difficult during the month of Ramadan. We've also COVID lockdown. Previously, I have sent invitation to various different political parties in order for them to kind of put forward their guests. I would like to thank, some of the local political parties who've actually, put forward candidates and guests. That's great, and hopefully today we will continue the discussion. Obviously we don't have everyone from all the different perspectives here, but what we like to do is give you, the residents, and if you from a political background, for you to have your say. So you can have your say. You can actually message us on Facebook. And I'll read the comments out. Also, what you can do, you can call us. So hopefully the telephone number will come up, 0208 1234 507. I'll give you priority. If you do call in, I'll give you priority. You can have your say. You can agree, you can disagree. Now, at the moment, I have two guests. They both are from the Labour Party. So as you can see, my guests here, both are councillors. We've got Ihtisham Hock here. He's on my left side, okay, our local councillor. And then we've got Councillor Tariq Khan also here. He's actually right beneath us there. And hopefully we'll be getting their views. Now, I'm not sure what their views are. As far as I'm aware, Labour Party, I've seen a lot of materials, and they are against the system of the mayoral system. So it sounds like that they are more pro for a leader-based cabinet system. Yeah, but currently we have John Biggs, who is our current mayor. He is the executive mayor for Tower Hamlets. I'm sure he's doing a fantastic job. And if you are watching us live, you'll have an opportunity to kind of like give your views as well. Yeah. So what we will do first is we will go with a little bit of more of a background to the discussion. And if people would like to message and kind of like make comments, please do so. The message board is open now. Telephone lines will be open. You can call in. If anybody would like to be brave enough to come on board and challenge Ihtisham or challenge Tariq, if they hold a particular position, all you have to do is send us your email, message your email. We'll give you an invitation and we can have you as a guest. I can have up to about 8 guests. If no one is brave enough to kind of challenge them face to face, you can call them, challenge them on call. But I prefer more if you do call, if you do come on board, that would be really, really good. It will kind of give a different flavor. I know it's difficult during the month of Ramadan, but thank you very much for those who've taken involved, and thank you to my guest who's actually come on board as well. I did invite everybody. on the previous shows. But unfortunately, from one side, we didn't have candidates coming forth, so hence we weren't able to continue the show. But we will do the show today, and I'll get people to have their views. Already, people are messaging. So a lot of people have been saying that, look, we need the mayoral system. Mayoral system is good. People were fed up and frustrated with the cabinet system. They saw a lot of infighting in the cabinet system, a lot of grouping. So these are some of the viewpoints people hold. We know we've had a mayoral system, we've had an executive system for a while now, and the local act, community act, which was the 2000 act, allowed the opportunity for people to choose either or the other. And at a point, Tower Hamlet resident chose to have a mayoral system. But we've seen the mayoral system in function, in operation. We've got currently an executive mayor as well. If you think the system is good, then, I'd like to hear from you. If you think a leadership cabinet system will be better, please give your arguments, make those arguments very clear. Let's all learn from each other, and let's make this discussion very productive. So on that particular note, let's go to Ihtisham. Well, Ihtisham, you've been quite eager to kind of like get your opinion across. How are you, and how's Ramadan?
Alhamdulillah. Blessed. Ramadan is a very special month, and it always sort of allows you to pause and reflect and have a better routine in your daily life. I want to first of all really commend the work that you do, Abdul Bhai, through various charities. I was watching Silat Aid, through Silat Aid, people you reach, the families that will have food in front of them this Ramadan. So may Allah and accept all your good work. And thank you for inviting me. When you were introducing the topic itself, 2-3 points straight away came to my mind. Obviously, as you have rightly said, that 2000 Local Government Act allowed local authorities to have directly elected mayoral system. But when did we have here in Tower Hamlets? 2010. And I'll tell you why I'm sort of making this distinction. It's very important because the executive mayoral system that was brought about, or the referendum that was held in 2010, was quite a mischievous one. People weren't really informed, and we haven't had a proper debate. Even after that, there was not a campaign against the mayoral system. Barely, there was a minimal campaign. Still, I think more than 40,000 people voted against it. So the question is, okay, we had Local Government Act 2000 allowed to have directly elected mayoral system. Then why in 2010 we did it? It's important for us to sort of understand. I hope I can't see Abdul, are you there?
Yep, I'm there. Don't worry, because we've taken the screen to you. So okay. when you see yourself, that means basically we've given you the platform for you to have your say. Yeah. Yes. And then when we're having a discussion, we'll go back to 3, inshallah. Yep.
So that's exactly what happens in mayoral system. Like here, I was a bit lost. It was just myself. I could have just ignored Abdul Bhai. I could have ignored Tariq Bhai or anybody else in the room. Now I know the arguments are being put forward saying, oh, this is my right to vote and elect my mayor. But I'm sorry to say this is very, very misleading. Ask yourself, do you vote for a prime minister? You don't vote for a prime minister, you vote for MPs. And the MPs then elect someone, or the leader of the majority party, they become prime minister and then they lead. Other thing, 2 points really, really important for us to remember. One, that point that was made. So a elected mayoral system, what it does, it makes, from my experience, the complete council chamber dysfunctional. If you want to have a president there, have it like an executive system like America, just himself. But when you also have 45 councillors with them, they should have some sort of right, some sort of ability to really have some power in decision making. And in executive mayoral system, that does not happen, cannot happen. Yes, we can argue for, okay, what if there is a good leader? That argument is also being put forward. But I'm sorry, when someone is so powerful and they feel they can ignore all other elected councillors or elected members within a chamber, they will ignore it. And we have witnessed that in last 10 years. one final point I would like to make, Abdul Bhai. There's also this notion saying, oh, if we are electing a mayor, we will be able to make him accountable. I'm sorry, how you are making a mayor accountable? That's the very thing. Number one, we have almost, it's quite imbalanced in terms of politics in town. Number two, even us as councillors having to say, oh, hold on, we're supposed to have those debates. We're supposed to make local councillors a sort of mini parliament. But when you have a mayoral system, it does not function as a parliament. It functions just as a rubber stamping body, where we as councillors, your councillors, that you come and complain to and really want us to be effective, be able to help you, we can't. And that's why you'll find across the spectrum, Abdul Bhai, you'll find Rabina Khan, Peter Golds, so the Conservative Party councillor, the Lib Dem councillor, and us as well. We all came together. We disagree all year long. But this is one thing we are agreeing on, is that this system is not working for us. And we should really vote for a change. We should really vote for a change so that we can really address, first of all, the governance issue that we have. But I'm sure we will go on to talking more long. A couple of other points that I can make, or before probably we move to type by. Look, since 2010, this system was allowed. Ask me, Abdul Bhai or Tarak Bhai, how many out of 343 in England, out of 343 local authorities in last 20 years, how many has adopted this system? Ask me. Only 24. Now, if it was such a successful system, if it was so good of a system, in 20 years, why do you not have 50 or 100? Also, out of those 24, even, I give you example of 3 local authority who, just like ourselves, really paused, made a reflection, and has gone back to leadership and cabinet model. Hartlepool, local council, you have Torbay, and you have Stoke-on-Trent. And in London, you have Tower Hamlets, and now obviously Newham is also consulting on 6th of May if they should go back to another system. Thank you, Abdul.
No, okay, Jazakallah. Yeah, great. Let's get Tariq into this as well. Obviously, I'm wondering if he has a different perspective, because I know in mainstream political parties you have various different points of views. Are you in agreement with Ihtisham, or you may have a different opinion?
Assalamualaikum, Abdul Bhai. Firstly, I'd like to echo my colleague and brother Ihtisham's idea about sort of 30 and the work you do. Firstly, growing up in Brick Lane, and you've done amazing work in the community, not only just now, but for the God knows how long that is. But so I actually agree with Ihtisham and his views on the mayoral system. I don't think it's a system that is fit for purpose for especially a borough such as Tower Hamlets. And my feelings are sort of like, I was elected as a councillor in 2018, and my sort of scrutiny, or people who want to hold me to account, is to my residents in the St. Petersburg, in Bethnal Green. And I feel in this system, it doesn't allow me to represent their views fully to the council and deliver for them, or to represent them.
Explain. Why not? I mean, are there barriers that stops you from, like doing what you need to do?
Yes. So if you look at the way the sort of leadership and the cabinet system works, it's a team. It's a team making a decision. It's not one person. I don't have to. So if there is a mayor and I am a councillor in a ward, if I fall out with the mayor, my views are not going to get heard. I have to sort of always push to the front of the queue for my views to be heard. If there's a cabinet and a leadership system, my views will always be heard. If it's not one person, then it has to be heard by the person who's leading that. So if there's a road which is broken, or a tree which needs to be cut, I don't need to push through the queues. I can straight go to a person who will deliver for me. Or if there is money in the pot which I need to lobby to, I can lobby to more people rather than just one person. And this sort of like, in politics And in life, I think people need to ask themselves, like, we always encourage teamwork. You know, I've been brought up in this country and everywhere to say, like, collective power sharing is one of the best things we can have. Individual and even in politics, I'm sure people have heard, like, you know, we term the phrase that, you know, absolute power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely, because giving one person power is always the sort of wrong way to government. And if you see the way, as Councillor Ettersham said, the way in UK we have a system of prime ministerial system where we vote in the MPs. We never vote our prime minister. So we've never voted in for Boris Johnson or David Cameron or Tony Blair or anyone. We voted MPs who then decide who their executive power should lie to. But they can then hold them to account, which means we hold our MPs to account to hold them to account. And this is the system we want here. We don't want a presidential system where, you know, where Donald Trump can become powerful because he has so much more money and influence over everyone else. The system we want is a collective system for everyone. It's not just for one person.
Great, excellent, Tariq. I mean, it's good. Very quickly, just clarify, what's the Labour Party's position? I mean, is Labour Party for the system or against the system, or individual members decide which way they go? I mean, is there a party line to this?
So there isn't a party line, but when we did the vote in council, all the Labour members voted to go this way, to bring this referendum in, to bring this referendum in to either vote for a mayoral system or a leadership and a cabinet system.
Ittisham, you know, when the first referendum came in, what was the Labour Party's view? Were they against the mayoral system then, or and is that view being consistent?
Yes, the view has been consistent. And once you had the referendum result, we as a party, Labour Party, had to participate, put forward a mayoral candidate. But ideally, always, I think the local Labour Party's position was they would not like to have an executive mayoral system. And that's where I think a lot of people who are quite close to politics, they will know, they will be able to appreciate why that system or that referendum was held. What was the political motive behind it? It was not that the cabinet and leader system was not working. I mean, all system has its flaws. But if you look at our community's achievement before 2010, try and remember, starting from East London Mosque's extension to idea stores, to the streets, to the, you know, all the heritage work and all the achievement of Black and minority ethnic community. Us as a Black and minority ethnic community, how we established ourselves into our hamlets up until 2010 was in a different model. It was in a different system. No mayor had to come in here and say that, oh, we will be, or I will be the savior for the British Bangladeshi community or the Muslim community here. I mean, I know that's the argument being put forward, that for us to have some sort of say, we need an all-powerful individual in a powerful position. But I'm sorry, that did not work for us. That experiment in 2010, let's say, you know my position, Abdul Bhai, even that time, what happened between the party and the Rahman, I did not support. And I'm a Labour councillor. I'm happy to say this. But that does not mean we gave him a license to do what he did, or his governance and his failure. But we're saying, let us not go into that argument.
It's a chance. I was going to just say, basically,
but tell me this, Abdul Bhai. Tell me this British Bangladeshi community, this Muslim community, to establish itself, did it need a mayoral system?
Well, I think that's a good question, but I think there has been a lot of frustration. There's been a lot of frustration towards the Labour Party. You know, the argument that people put forward is that, look, you know, it's very divisive. A lot of BAME community members are not able to excel within the party. You know, and there are those kind of problems, and we can't shy away from that. I mean, like in the early stages, and many of the elder members of our community will tell you, that, it was very difficult getting Bangladeshi candidate, even in the Labour Party, to stand as councillors. It's only when they had to stand as independent candidates that the Labour Party realised that, look, the Bangladeshi community has a political voice and that needs to be accommodated.
Thank you, Abdul Bhai. And you raise a very important point. And Ehtisham Haq is not someone, or is not really overly careful to be politically correct. Trust me. And I'm very close to even being expelled from the party many a time. And I completely agree with you.
Well, I don't want you to be expelled because of my show.
It's important, because often many people out there thinking, oh, if you're part of the Labour Party now here in Tower Hamlets, you're some sort of sellout, you're not doing your role for the community. But that's wrong. Those very people who are not part of the Labour Party serving the community, fine. We've decided to serve our community through a mainstream political party, and that political party has got many flaws. From decades, there are history of, let's say, of unhappiness with minority communities, and it's not just in Tower Hamlets, Abdul Bhai. It's in Leicester, it's in Liverpool, it's in Manchester, it's throughout. So we are part of the bigger picture. Now, how you address this is not by becoming some sort of splinter political group and then just dissolve in a beast, shall I say?
Okay, well, let's give some of our public an opportunity now. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly go to some of the comments people have said. Okay, so we got Mo Ahmed, Jazakallah Mo for actually making some points there. He's written basically the leadership system is a smokescreen to keep Biggs in power. He's in opinion of getting John Biggs out.
Can I address this?
No, we'll come. Let's give the people their say. Then we've had Khairul, Jazakallah Khairul for messaging as well. He says lack of communication. This this election. People don't really know who or what to vote for, and that is pretty much true. A lot of people are very, very confused because the people on the middle ground, are actually the dominant people who are probably not swayed either way. And it's important that people get both sides of the arguments. Councillor Sabina Akhtar, I think this referendum election is about the system, not any individual. Okay, maybe someone can clarify what she may mean, or if she can kind of clarify that it's not an individual. We're talking about the system at the moment, and what we want to do is ensure that people have a better understanding of the system, because if one particular system is better and it's beneficial, then maybe the public people can decide to go for that. Yeah. Mo again comes back, leadership model wins, Labour councillors votes Biggs as their leader. So it's all about individual. Okay, then we got Musa. Well said, Councillor Ehtisham. I think he's agreeing with one of your points. Then we got Tanvir. Well explained, Councillor Ehtisham. It is about the system, not about the individual. A lot of people keep on saying about individual. I want to explore that a bit later on. Councillors should be involved in decision making, which can happen in leadership system. Okay, fine, that's fair enough. Then we've got Sabina Akhtar again. How is a leader and a cabinet system working for Labour, councillor, or any individuals? No one knows who will be elected in the next election, let alone know the leader. There is a cross-party campaign for a fair system, and this is the leader and a cabinet model. Most borough in the country is working under this fair system. The mayor model is not suitable for the diverse borough like Tower Hamlets. Okay, that's a good view. But if there are any other opposing views, please, get on the show. Make those comments, get your views heard, inshallah. Let's go to Tariq. Is there anything that you would like to respond to on those messages? I know some of them are very favoring, but it's all about Mayor John Biggs winning.
So this idea that John Biggs is doing this to keep himself in power, he's actually maneuvered himself out of power if this referendum goes through, because he will, if this referendum say votes no, option 2 on the 6th of May, which we all should vote for anyway. John Biggs serves this term and finishes in 2022, and then sort of the mayoralty ceases to exist, so he doesn't become in power. If the only way any person at that time can become leader of any party is firstly they have to become a councillor, which the current mayor John Biggs isn't. So he will have to go through the Labour selection process, become a councillor, then then your elected councillors at that time, which you, the people, elect, will have to vote for a leader, and then the council votes for the leader of the council. So it's not anyone saying John Biggs or anyone doing this to keep themselves in power, because it's not. Because as we've seen and heard, this isn't about any individual. It's not. It's about the system which keeps, which is how we should govern, and it's not about any individual, whether it's John Biggs or anyone else. It's not about me or you. It's about collectively how we can see the borough of Turton should govern, and how we can deliver as councillors to residents more effectively.
Ihtisham, I just want to ask you a question. Do you think Tower Hamlet residents are aware of the complexity of like this proposal? I mean, do you think people have a good idea how the system works? And if not, how can you make it simplified so that people can understand it?
There's always a gap between, let's say, governance. I mean, if you look at any and every election, not everyone is involved and engaged and understand how they're being governed. With this one, it's a bit even more complex. That's why people, those who are engaged, they're often spreading misinformation or just using political rhetoric, keeping sort of residents at the door. And that's a challenge for every single politician to really explain what is it that is at stake and how you can really change the system and what that would mean. You must have noticed at the right that politics here often is personalized. It becomes about individual, not a solid and proper debate about two different policies. What's good for us, what's not good for us. Even within our community, I know predominantly, I'm assuming your viewers are from Muslim or Black and minority ethnic background. Often we do not look at things more sophisticatedly. We are presented with emotion and a sort of individual liking or affiliation or loyalty to our ethnicity or to religion and whatnot. You know what I'm trying to say. But in politics, probably what we can definitely should do and could do, at least in this case, is go out there, which is also difficult because of COVID-19, to present the case and the difference between two systems, and let people be more informed and then take it from there. It's so important to remember. A lot of people here are thinking that a vote for a mayoral system means voting for a particular person, but I'm sorry, that is not the case. There isn't any single individual in this election. It's about two different systems. And I'll ask you one question.
Well, okay, go on. I'll give you on this question.
Two individuals from Tower Hamlets who really enjoyed the system most. Name me two individuals.
Who enjoy the system the most?
Yeah.
You tell me, go on.
No, it should be a simple answer. Those who enjoyed the power, including definitely mayor from my party and also the previous mayor. And they wouldn't want, who would want to give up power? Who would want to give up a system? So I'm sorry, those individuals like Mobile and others were saying this is a ploy by, let's say, the current mayor. No, I'd rather say the current mayor, at least he's being gracious enough.
Okay. On the gracious note, how frequently can you come to the stage of having a referendum? Could we not have the referendum a bit more earlier? You know, if, for example, if the Labour Party was so adamant that the system isn't really good, why haven't we had the referendum early?
We couldn't have. So this is the legislation. So you could only review your decision every 10 years, or at least first 10 years. That's why the previous referendum results became mature in let's say last year, 2020, and that's why we took the earliest opportunity to go back to people and say that, okay, you know, we've had the experience of 10 years. What can we do now?
Okay, great. So we respect that. We value that. Yeah, the residents, I'm sure the residents will respect and value that. But, you know,
one more quick point. Also, we are doing it during the 6th May London mayoral election. And that means we're saving a lot of money. And
So
there is one one
Yeah,
point
yeah.
being,
Okay. Ishtisham, you may be saving a lot of money, but there's no campaign to get rid of. Can we not have the same kind of system for the London mayor?
well, that's a different ball game completely.
Okay.
Above our pay grade. If someone wants to sort of start that campaign, I'm sure you will take a position. I'll take a position. Do it.
Well, look. You know, we have to be fair. We have to be fair. Yeah. Look, end of the day, there are many people who are disgruntled with the mainstream political party. Okay, there are many people who are marginalized from the mainstream political party. Before I conclude, we do have a caller, so we will take our call and take the caller's view. But I will come back to this point. Assalamu alaikum, caller.
Assalamu alaikum. Abdul Bhai, this is Councillor Asma Islam speaking.
Oh, Councillor Asma, thank you very much. Well done. You're like brave enough to call in. Do you have a point of view you'd like to kind
Yes,
of make? Okay.
Yep. First of all, can I firstly thank you for hosting this program and inviting my colleagues, SSM and Tariq on the show. Also wanted to say before I get to my point of view, that 13 Rivers Plus is an amazing organization. You yourself and the rest of the team do some great work, and hopefully this Ramadan everyone can have it in them to have some generosity and donate.
Inshallah, yeah.
Organization. So I wanted to say that first before we get into it.
No, thank you. Jazakallah.
To talk about the point of view, I think Councillor SSM Haq and Councillor Tariq Khan have expressed and explained the situation very, very well. I wanted to echo that and just wanted to add the fact that at the end of the day, regardless of which party you stand for, the reasons why you stand is to serve the people of this borough. So the referendum is come after 10 years, and we're hoping that people can actually see past some of the stuff that has been put out and be able to just work out what is best for the community, the borough that they are part of. Because we have to discuss the system. We have to discuss the benefits of having both. And I will add one point that Councillor Haq has made already, which is if you look at the way that the rest of the country is working, most local governments are under a leader and cabinet model. It's working fine for them. We was under a leader and cabinet model. We even had the committee system. We've now had the mayoral system. So listen to past experience, politicians, leaders, even mayoral candidates. Even they are coming out and saying out the three options, they do believe that the leader and cabinet is, no system is perfect, but this is one that is probably best governance for our borough, where regardless of who is elected, I can't guarantee like I will be elected or Labour will be elected. When we go into an election, that is the aim, that we want to win as many seats as we can. But we don't know that, because at the end of the day, whatever the public view is, that's how we serve. We serve the public. There are some views about how this is Labour dominating. To be honest, when we go to the door, we hope they vote for us, they vote for our party, but we can't say, vote for us a little bit, but don't vote for all of us because we want some opposition. It doesn't work like that. Whatever the public view is, if they want to wipe up Labour, they would do that. If they want to vote in every single Labour councillor and a mayor or a leader, they would do that. And so if Labour and Lib Dem and Conservatives, they stand, a mainstream party, they stand with that challenge that they will contest every single seat, then anyone independent, to be honest, Abdul, you've got experience from 2006, from a party, Respect, a brand new party. You guys took over 12 seats, and it was under the leadership. It didn't prevent you. In fact, I'd be more than interested to hear some of your views if you felt as an opposition leader that there was anything that was sort of a barrier to you becoming an opposition party, any barriers in your democracy, any barriers in you representing your constituents at the time. And this is how we improve things. If we share ideas, we hear from experienced politicians and leaders and candidates from before, we're able to come to a decision where actually we can come to agree that what's best for our borough. And I think it's time we drop some of the dirty politics about making it personal. This is not about John Biggs. This is not about anybody else. This is about the people of this borough and what's best for them.
Okay, Asma, just quickly stay there. Just want to pose a question to you. I mean, like, there are people who may not be involved in the mainstream political party. I mean, a lot of people still kind of are disconnected from mainstream parties, and they may have a particular perspective, and their perspective maybe is that, look, party machineries are big, complicated. I just want to have a simple vote. I just want to have an option to basically vote for someone who speaks my language. He's got the right soundbites for the policies and that. I mean, we have to be respectful to that people have the right, and the referendum has a right for people to decide one way or the other. Obviously, we can look at the merits, and obviously in a couple of weeks' time, I will present my viewpoint as well on this. But for today is creating the balance to make sure that people get to understand the system, and the cabinet system, people argue that it's predominated by the mainstream political parties. So if you're a very small or a non-partisan political activist, they feel that they can't actually get through, their voices get through, and the only way to do that is to have a mayoral system. So that and now in the coalition we see the Liberal Democrats, the Tories, we see Labour on one side, and there's just a community. There's some kind of a voice out there who are disconnected to mainstream. Do you think the debate between mainstream and non-mainstream is polarized, or is it something that we need to have? And do you think that the residents of the borough needs to understand that, look, mainstream plays a role, or even not having a mainstream is okay?
Okay, so on that, I would say there are enough mainstream parties to create a extremely democratic leader and opposition inside the chambers of the town hall. There are enough parties to do that. And the reason why I always try and propose to people I speak to that we go for mainstream is because if you look at the bigger picture, the national picture, there is things that are in place when it comes to, you have a better exposure. You have the party that you've also got to be accountable. So you've got the public, you've got the council, and then you have a third layer, which is your party. So, that just keeps the transparency, that keeps the accountability. And those in town hamlets who are thinking, okay, do you know what? I get that all the mainstream parties are together, but sometimes I have these offbeat views, and I like some of the people on the other side who are supporting the Yes for Mayor. You can say that and completely respect that too, and I understand where you're coming from. But I would say this: let's not try and do something. Try and do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. We've been there, we've done that, we've seen how far we can go. And the problem with it is, with the mayoral system, is with the wrong person in power, it could really be an ugly situation for the people of this borough and for the council, and it takes years to get it back onto track. And that would be my thing, is giving too much power to one person can cause adverse effects. And you can sit there and hope to have the best candidate through, but you never know. And is it worth the risk? Is it worth the risk for the generations to come to have to deal with some of the mess that comes along with it? And that's why I always try and say, let's drop all the ugliness and all the dirtiness that comes with politics. Let's talk about the true system. Let's talk about what's best for the people of this borough, and let the people decide. What I see now from the campaigners is a lot of stuff that's got nothing to do with the system. You see people talking about achievements from individuals, and I just want to know, what can the mayoral system achieve? What can you achieve through the mayoral system that you can't achieve through the leadership? And if there is something, what's the barrier? And the moment you get those three answers, you will know the intention as to why they're campaigning for what they're campaigning.
Asma, thank you very much. Because obviously due to shortage of time, I need to quickly move on. Thank you very much for the call, and hopefully please get people to watch the repeats as well. I will have a range of different discussions taking place. We're going to continue this discussion. Well, okay, it looks like another call is coming in now. So if another call comes in, we've actually got 10 minutes because we've got to prepare for the next show as well. Yeah. So I'm going to come to Ihtisham. Listen, you said there were a lot of myths out there. Yeah. There's a lot of misconceptions being thrown around. Do you want to demystify some of those very quickly? Oh, sorry. We got the caller.
Yeah, take the caller and then I'll come.
Yeah, let's take the caller. Assalamu alaikum, caller. Hello. Assalamu alaikum, caller.
Alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Ashik. I'm calling from Shadwell.
Okay, Brother Ashik. Alhamdulillah, you're probably listening to our discussion. Do you have a perspective, a point of view you would like to share?
Yeah, I'd like to share some views about the festival. I'd like to thank everyone, especially you and Pat and Liver, did a fantastic job. And your the guest, Councillor Sam and Councillor Tarek Mama, joining there as well. Listen, let me tell you something in Bengali. Is that okay?
Yeah, you can. Of course. You know, I understand.
Okay. The Yes Mayor campaign. You know, these people, the leading this campaign. As far as I know, these people, they don't live in hamlets. Most of them people don't live in town. So
from outside the borough is actually articulating an argument. I think what we've got to do is stick to the argument, stick to the points, and share that with people so that people know what it is. So if some campaigners live outside the borough, you know, it does. I don't know. I mean, I can't see that is that effective.
Can I ask you that?
Yeah, please.
Let me do something. Let me make that more specific. Okay, you know, these people, they don't live in Taham. So you and me, the people are living in Taham, they know what is they're experiencing. Amra budvaya, amra kita problem or kita onna. Amra kita difficulty feel koriya with this system, previous system and current system. So thara roida Bangalore maze, thara Bangalore maze roida, thara million pound property roida. What they know about Taham situation? You tell me.
No, definitely. I mean, I concur with that as well, because I think people who have a certain background, they may not share the same kind of. So I agree with that. But how can we move on? I mean, are there any points you would like to make in order for us to?
That's why that move on is, look, the current system is not working. So I would urge people from your show, whoever is watching, whoever is listening, vote for no on the 6th of May. This is the way forward. This is the democracy. The people can have their power back. The councillors of the Kanogia, and others are just watching. This is not fair. We're living in a democratic country. Thank you very much for giving me.
No, you're welcome. No, thank you very much. That's a very important point. Definitely democracy and having the correct representation is very, very important. And this is why, you know, having the referendum allows the residents to actually decide what is best for them. And I think we need to do our best to kind of like present the case, win the argument, and reach the people as well, because I'm sure a lot of people still are not aware of the referendum that's taking place, and they're probably more concerned about you know, like trying to find out if you know, like Sadiq Khan's going to win or not. Yeah. So what we got to do is like kind of bring it back to the focus. I've got people who are actually messaging us. So let's go to some of the messages again. There's a long message. Brother Foyso-Uddin, thank you for the comment. Politics is dirty. Okay. Some people that we've not had before, they are all non-residents of Tower Hamlets. Okay, maybe people are seeing a pattern in this. Then we got Khaled also saying non-residents of Tower Hamlets don't know about Tower Hamlets, how we are living. Yeah, and that's true. You know, we you know, we live in the borough. We know the dynamics and that. Let's quickly go to Ihtisham to demystify some of those myths quickly, because we are running out of time, and then I'm going to come back to Tariq.
Come to me. It's a long list.
Oh, okay, you got a long list here. All right, let's go to Tariq here, because obviously Sham's got a long list, and I might want to challenge him. So yes, so any points you would like to make just to come to a conclusion?
Yeah, I think, well, what I've seen in times in the last 10 years, and I've been sort of active in the community for the last 20 years or so, is the level of disunity we've had. In sort of like, you know, just thinking about 2 or 3 individuals in our community, and that sort of disunited families, friends, peer groups, and sort of community groups as well. So I think it's not the fault of individuals, but I think my sort of biggest thing is it's the fault of the system which has led to this disunity. And I think to truly unite the borough, we need to get rid of the system and come back to a system where we can sort of focus more on policy and what's happening rather than individuals, because individuals will always.
Okay, Tariq, I want to quickly come in and jump in here, yeah, because the time is a big essence here, right? So, you know, if we had a mayoral system come through, everyone agreed, then all the mayors will have their manifestos, yeah?
Yeah.
How many points do you think they have on their manifesto?
50, 60.
Okay, so average maybe like 7, 8 or whatever, yeah, like the big ones here, right? Okay, so now Is a local authority run on just 4 or 5 manifestos?
No, I mean
No, it's not. It's not. So this is why I think it's I think it's much more complicated than what because it's so easy saying this system and that system. A lot of people think, yeah, fantastic. We've got 5, 6 manifestos which are awesome. But what about the day-to-day running of the council? Yeah, the day-to-day, the basically, the whole system and structures involved in local authority. How much of that we understand? How much of that we know? And every level that we need to be able to interact. And my question is, does a mayoral system deal with all that? Okay. And this is why previously you had a cabinet system in order to do that. So you have cabinet meetings, then you have like the ONS, overview scrutiny, then you have like, other bodies that are there that, elected members go in there. So that was the original system. Now, the system got moved over because people were frustrated. I myself was frustrated. Yeah. When I saw as a respect leader, there's no way of getting any kind of influence or power or getting heard. And at that time, I was even for the whole system of, a mayoral system, because I felt that at that time that if we get a mayor who thinks like me, then a lot of my ideas and my way of doing things will be manifested in the policies and so forth. And that at that time, a lot of people probably kind of supported and voted for a system like that in the beginning. But now the time has changed. Tariq, do you think people have actually matured and now they understand mainstream politics, they understand the system that is required to run a local authority? It's easy giving a vote, but
so,
how do you...
So I think people have always been mature. Let's just start with that. I think it's about giving people information. So one of the things to say on what you've just said. So the council into Tower Hamlets has about £1 billion of worth of services and sort of turnover across the sort of year, and it has about 4,000 staff, and it looks after about 90,000 properties, with about 250 to over 300,000 residents. Does anyone think one person can represent or one person can work for every single part of that? No, it can't happen. The way to do it is to do it collectively, to do it better, and to do it as a team. Because when we do it as a team, we hear views from all different sides. So if there's 10, 15, 20, 30 people sit together, there's views from all different sides of the community. And if it's just one person who's leading 350,000 people, it's a very difficult place to be. It's a very lonely place, and that person can have their own sort of biases and individual ways of doing things, and it could end up in the wrong hands.
Councillor Tariq, mashallah, you made your point very clear. Ihtisham, let's demystify some of those.
So before I come into the list, I'll make two quick points I must make. One was about, let's say, those people who are hoping, okay, a mayoral system, we're going to have our own mayor, and them forming independent parties, not being part of the mainstream parties. That was your question to us, my Islam, and I'm picking on that. Imagine the reality of non-entity, like very normal independent parties councillor in a mayoral system. They would, if they really want to serve people of this borough, they will also be coming as a councillors, right? Rather than, so they use a team. If they're saying, okay, a mayor comes with a team, and if they're mayor,
for far as I know, I mean, the Liberal Democrats are going to be putting loads of candidates through to build their team up so that they can, overtake the council as well.
If they fail, if an independent party fails to win the mayoralty, and imagine they end up having 5, 10 councillors, then they won't be able to ultimately get anything done, because they will have an opposition mayor running the show in the borough. It will be better. So if they're really true in their intention, the independent party you're talking about, in serving the people rather than just for one individual, then they should be supporting the system. I welcome, unlike in Windows, I welcome independent. Sometimes independent entities can really strengthen and add value to local governance. That's understandable. But they need to find out in which platform or what system actually they can contribute. So quickly, demystifying some of the myths being put out there.
Okay, you can demystify 2 myths because I've got my signal that we're running out of time, so
Okay.
we need to, yeah.
Decent Homes, yeah, Decent Homes. Decent Homes was a Labour Party program rolled out in 2000. It's a national program that was implemented. So after the kitchen and fixing the dining room, the way it happened here, same happened in Luton and everywhere else. Similarly, mayoral achievement, a lot of the promotions going on. These are inaccurate information to sort of hype up the achievement of the mayoralty. I'll ask everyone. So I'm not going through the list now, since we don't have enough time. I would ask everyone to really use their rationale and look at the councillors. Why, when last 2-3 years, often you're going to the councillors and you can clearly see that they're not being able to probably at times be able to help you much. Or why we as councillors, if we really think it work, why should we not remain? And we will be councillors. I'm not standing for a mayoral candidate. So people really need to take this seriously, because if we keep this system, and let's say after our Fosonder mayors and mayor ilana, on the end of the day, you know, our Fosonder mayors are asking earlier, but but thank you, Abdul Bhai, for the program. And finally, I think one point I have to make: we are for democracy. So I'm not going to buy for the show dictatorial. Often it ends up being a dictatorial system. There have been many studies out there. Leader and cabinet model is more democratic. You'd rather have 10 people you can go to rather than that one person who may not like you. So let's have that.
Okay, on that point, Ihtisham, Jazakallah, Tariq, Jazakallah for your contribution. We will have more discussion on this. I think I'll have another two more sessions if possible on this, and I'm looking forward to.
Sorry to interrupt you, but look, another example. Why they are not coming to your show?
No.
Why they're not coming? Because no, they're campaigning. They're out there.
That's fine. Look, that's fine. They have the right to refuse if they want to refuse, and they have the right to, like not engage. That's fine. But what I will say to people who are strongly campaigning for the mayoral system, look, I'm more than happy to give you an opportunity to come on board, express your views and explain the situation as well. And if you're happy enough for a debate, then let's have a mature debate. Let's have both sides come forward and have a debate, yeah. And what I would like to see, and my wish is that we have, 3 people from each side to come on board and it's like a tag team, have a proper debate. Because the best way for our community to learn is to see the people debating and discussing in a mature way, and for them to be able to make their own minds up at the end of the day, yeah. So, inshallah, I'm hoping that during the month of Ramadan we will continue. We will have some of those debates and discussion. I would like to welcome the view for the mayoral system to come on board and explain their position as well, so that all our viewers and our residents can get to hear their side of the story. I've done my best to do the balance as much as possible. We've had the opportunity for people to make comments. People have made comments, and also people had the opportunity to phone in and call in as well. So on that particular note, I'd like to, on behalf of My Ramadan TV and 13 Rivers Trust, thank all our guests for coming on board, and also the callers, also those who have actually messaged and made comments on that. What we like to strive for is mature discussion, mature debating, and henceforth on this platform we will do this. So yes, I have my own view, which I don't want to express yet, but I will express that view very soon. And I'm not going to be shy to do so, because I am part of the community. I'm involved with the community, and I have a stake. I have a say as well. So I will do that at another time of my convenience. But for the community show, I'd like to thank everyone once again for being with us. Please share, please like, and please remember we are a charity organization in the blessed month of Ramadan, trying to help and support people in the UK, in East London. We provide hot meals to vulnerable people on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We also provide a lot of support for people who have loved ones passed away, and that they are struggling with burial services, especially those people who don't have any loved ones as well. End of life care support is one of our flagship programs that we run at 13 Rivers Trust. So please go to our webpage, 13riverstrust.co.uk, look at some of the programs, get involved. If you want to help fundraise for us, please get involved, contact me. And if you want to be part of discussions, you want to be a guest on my shows in the future, please message me as well. I'll bring you on various different topics, and we will continue this line of discussion until the referendum comes to an end, inshallah. So hopefully on that particular note, thank you very much to everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.